it's vegan recipes as far as the eye can see.
Hello, today on It's Vegan, I'm going to show you how to make a really quick and easy frozen peanut butter pie. Let's get started. To get started, I'm going to put a half a cup of peanut butter in my bowl. Start adding 1.5 cups of almond milk. You could use soy. I'm going to scrape the peanut butter in there to make sure I'm getting all of it blended up nice and smooth. The next thing that I'm going to do is add my family size instant vanilla pudding. This is vegan, but of course you check the label for the brand that you buy to make sure that there's no dairy in it. You can see it's already starting to thicken. I'm going to make sure that I get all of that pudding mix blended in there well. And I am using an immersion blender or a handheld blender, but you could of course use a wire whip. Next, I am adding in 2 small containers of vegan yogurt. You could use, this one's coconut milk, you could use soy or almond. And I'm using vanilla. I'm going to stir it down, make sure I get everything blended in. As you can see, it is nice and smooth and creamy. Our filling is ready, so now it's time to put it into a pie crust. I'm going to be using a homemade crust that I made. The recipe will be linked below. If you're in a real hurry, you could use a bought crust. This one's made from pecans, does not have honey in. The walnut version of this has honey in it, so if you don't eat honey, you would want to be careful you didn't pick up that one. And then there's also just the traditional graham cracker crust, or you could use some minis. Now to get started, I'm going to put about a half a cup of our hot fudge sauce. Of course, the link will be below. You're just going to spread it out. I'm going to stick it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes until the chocolate firms up and it's solid enough to put our peanut butter pie filling in. The chocolate's been in the freezer and it's firm enough that I can put my filling on top of it. I bet you can't wait to taste this. Smooth out the pudding, cover it with some plastic wrap, or if you have some type of silicone cover it and let it freeze until it's solid. That will take at least several hours. I usually count on it being overnight. We will be back for plating and a taste test. I want to show you what it looks like when it's frozen, and I want you to see how hard it is. So you will need to leave it on your counter for about an hour, and then I will show you how to slice it and serve it. The pie has been out of the freezer for about an hour, and I'm going to cut it. I'm putting little lines because I'm not very good at cutting straight. I want to get 8 pieces. So I'm going to just slice through it right now, and I will take one piece out and show you how to serve it. Now the homemade pie crust is a lot more delicate than when you buy a prepared graham cracker crust. I'm going to put some of our hot fudge sauce on that we made in another video. If you didn't have time to do that, you could always use a bought one. Hershey's has no milk in it, this particular one. Then you can make it extra special by putting on some whipped topping. This is almond milk, and top it off with a cherry. So here's a piece of pie, and I'm going to taste it with you. I bet your mouth is watering too. Bottom of the pie has the hot fudge sauce, and I have some on top. I'm going to get a little bit of whipped cream. I think that's perfect. I do want to give you a heads up. It's a little bit icy, but that makes it all the more refreshing. When I have leftover pie, I slice it in smaller pieces while it's not so frozen, and then I freeze it again. This way, it's easy to take out a small slice at a time for a nice bedtime snack. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe.